This is Jennifer Jackson, Regional Communications Manager with Idaho Fish and Game's Southeast Region. Let's talk turkey with a simple introduction to Idaho's wild turkeys, focusing on concepts like adaptations, habitat, and conservation. Chances are you've seen a turkey, maybe on a farm or out in the wild, and most of us have probably eaten turkey as a main course, like at a Thanksgiving dinner. But do you know the difference between a wild turkey and a domesticated one? Can you tell from these pictures which is which? The white turkey is a domesticated bird. It doesn't really have the adaptations to survive in the wild. For one, it's missing camouflage and would have a hard time hiding from predators. Plus, it's used to getting its food, water, shelter, and space, or its habitat, from people. The brown turkey is wild and is built to make its own living out in the world without much help from anyone. Now, what about the turkeys next to the homes? They look wild, but are they being cared for by the people who live there? The answer is that these are wild turkeys living where people and wildlife just happen to share a habitat. Turkeys and people have been living on the same landscape for a very long time. Now let's move on to a little history lesson. Before the 1500s, it's estimated that there were 10 million wild turkeys in North America. Wild turkey populations dipped to their lowest numbers, less than 1 million, between the end of the 1800s and the 1930s, mostly due to habitat loss and unregulated hunting. But with the help of conservationists, sportsmen's groups, and state wildlife agencies, the turkey experienced a wonderful comeback. Today, there are nearly 7 million wild turkeys across North America. This map shows how turkeys are now distributed or spread out across the United States. But here's an interesting point. Turkeys are not native to Idaho, meaning they did not live here originally. They were introduced to Idaho in 1961. Idaho has 3 different kinds of turkeys, as shown here. You can see they have a lot in common, from their camouflage coloring to their fancy tail fans. Turkeys are an important part of Idaho's wildlife resource and are enjoyed by wildlife enthusiasts from bird watchers to hunters. Idaho Fish and Game biologists, landowners, hunters, and volunteers with the Idaho chapter of the National Wild Turkey Federation have worked together to make a difference to wild turkeys in the state through countless on-the-ground habitat projects, education, and other conservation efforts. Now, when I talk about turkeys, I love to talk about their interesting adaptations. An adaptation is a feature or a behavior that makes a plant or animal or other living organism better suited to living in its environment or home. Look at the wild turkey, for example. It has lots of feathers, more than 5,000. Now that's an adaptation that helps a turkey stay warm during cold weather and helps a turkey blend in with its surroundings so it can hide from predators. The males, called toms, have brightly colored caruncles, which is that red bumpy skin around their necks. And they even have blue coloring on their heads. They also like to strut around with their tail fans spread out. Wow, what's that all about? Well, it's a way to show off to get the girls, called hens, and it also helps them look tough around the other toms. Which brings us to another adaptation, living in flocks. Having a lot of friends around you means you have lots of eyes looking out for danger and other birds to sound an alarm if they see danger. Turkeys have excellent eyesight, so not much gets past them. Tom turkeys also have what's called a spur on their leg, made out of keratin, the same protein your nails and hair are made of. And check out those toes, perfectly designed for scratching the ground in search of food. Tom turkeys use their spurs when fighting with each other and in self-defense with predators. Can turkeys even fly? Well, sure they can. I mean, how else did they get into this tree? Turkeys fly up into their roosts every night and fly back down again in the morning. And a wild turkey escapes predators by either running or flying. In fact, wild turkeys can run up to 25 miles per hour and can fly at 55 miles per hour for short distances. In comparison, some domesticated turkeys cannot fly. Their job is just to get fat so they can be the honored guest at Thanksgiving dinner. So flying is often difficult for them and really not even necessary like it is for their wild cousins. If a male turkey is a tom and a female turkey is a hen, then what's a baby turkey called? No, it's not a chick. It's called a poult. And I'm going to throw a bunch of amazing adaptations at you centered around eggs and poults. Hens lay between 10 to 12 eggs during a 2-week period, laying 1 egg each day. If you are a ground nesting bird, like a turkey, your eggs have a higher chance of being eaten, stepped on, or flooded than a bird who makes a nest in a tree. That's why Mama Turkey lays so many eggs, and it's why she does it one at a time. Think about it. If a predator like a raccoon finds a turkey nest, it can eat 1 or 2 eggs, but hopefully won't eat all 12. Also, if a nest is destroyed when the hen had only laid a couple of eggs, she still has more eggs she can lay, one at a time, until she's finally done. Hens don't fully incubate the eggs until the very last egg is laid, and then when that happens, the hen will only leave the nest for a short period to feed. Eggs are incubated like this for 26 to 28 days, and mama hen will turn and reposition the eggs about once an hour. Now that's some good parenting. Look at this next picture. The larger turkey egg is on the left, and if you compare it to the regular chicken egg, you can see that one of the biggest differences besides size is the fact that the turkey egg is spotted or speckled, and that's going to help camouflage it when it lies on the ground. Now, what about the poults? Yep, they're camouflaged too. In fact, when poults hatch, they're what we call precocial. Precocial means they are feathered and ready to go. They can walk, follow mom, and feed themselves. Let's take a look at these really cute little poults enjoying their bath time by taking a dust bath. The average weight of a wild tom turkey is 17 pounds, and a female usually weighs around 9 pounds. Turkeys only live about 2.5 years, and here's another fun fact that I bet most of you didn't know. The scat or poop from a male turkey looks different than that of a female turkey. Check it out. The twisted scat on the left is from a hen, and the J-shaped scat on the right is from a male. Okay, don't gross out. I'm not handling real turkey scat with my bare hands in this picture. The scat is fake and came in my turkey education kit I ordered from the National Wild Turkey Federation years ago. I had you going though, didn't I? Remember, an animal's habitat is defined as its food, water, shelter, and space, and wild animals have to get that on their own. So, what does a wild turkey eat? Well, a wild turkey would eat acorns, berries, seeds and forbs, insects, snakes, and even amphibians like frogs, snails, yes, sometimes even haystacks that are meant for someone's livestock, and cow pies? No, they don't eat cow poop, but they will pick out undigested vegetation from the cow pies, especially when other food sources are limited. Of course, turkeys that are domesticated, meaning they get their food, water, shelter, and space from people, eat a little differently. Their food comes from bags bought from the store, and even how they get their food is a little different. Food can be scattered on the ground for them, or they can eat out of feeders like the one that's pictured here. Well, where do turkeys get their water? Wild turkeys rely on streams, creeks, and even puddles for their water sources. Domesticated turkeys might have a little water feeder or a small trough to drink from. In this short clip, you're going to see a wild turkey family getting a drink of water from a stream. Besides food and water, wild turkeys have to have shelter year-round. Shelter could be shrubs, sagebrush, trees, tall grasses, even rocks. For little turkeys, a mama's wing is often the best protection of all. During an Idaho winter, turkeys will move to lower elevations where they can escape deeper snows and find cover and have access to more food. For these domesticated turkeys, daily life doesn't include hiding from predators like coyotes or mountain lions, or even searching for their food. They don't need camouflage to blend in, and their cover or shelter is provided by people. A domesticated turkey shelter could be a large building like this one, or a little shed or coop in someone's backyard. I should point out that some domesticated turkeys look just like the wild turkeys you can find up in the hills, but the fact that they are domesticated means that they rely on people for their needs. Just like humans, turkeys talk to communicate. The male turkey is known for its famous gobble. However, a turkey's vocabulary consists of 28 distinct calls. Each sound has a general meaning and can be used for different situations. Want to know more? Visit the National Wild Turkey Federation website for links to turkey sounds, or go to the fun icebreaker activity within this virtual turkey workshop to learn more about how to talk turkey. Did you learn something you didn't know about turkeys from this presentation? I sure hope so, and I hope you've gained an appreciation for a unique bird with some pretty amazing adaptations and an interesting history. Don't let your learning stop here. Be sure to check out the rest of the fun activities and informational videos shared in Idaho Fish and Game's virtual Wild About Turkeys workshop.